You know, it's so crazy, man. I'm so excited after seeing that fight last night by Errol Spence against Chris Algieri because after that fight, all these matchups just popped into my head. Went on the internet and hearing all of these people saying Errol Spence versus this guy, Errol Spence versus that guy. And I've never been more excited about this division in a long time than I am right now because of what's going on right now and because of Errol Spence. And I'm excited about Kell Brook saying him and Eddie Hearn saying they're going to fight someone big next. And Errol Spence now is Kell Brook's mandatory. So we got to talk about Errol Spence versus Kell Brook. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm I've been a big fan of Kell Brook in terms of his style and his skills, and I think he's a very, very dangerous welterweight, and he's pretty close to the top of that division. He could either be number one, two, or three. It's really hard to really say definitively, but he's definitely in the top three in my opinion. But Beeb always looks deep, man. He looks deep. He likes to look at the styles, not the resumes all the time. It's not about the box rec. It's not about those the records and this and that. Obviously, the level of opposition is going to play a factor, but the eye test really trumps out overall, and the styles really trumps out overall, in my opinion, when I'm breaking down a fight. And we all know how Kell Brook likes to fight. We know he likes range. We know he likes to fight at a distance. We know he likes to keep guys at the end of his punches. He throws those long, straight punches from the outside. And this dude has a hell of a right hand, and he's got a piston-like jab that he could really keep guys at a distance, really freeze them in their tracks, and really keep them at bay and enable him to set up that long, sharp right hand over the top from the outside that really takes people's legs away, really shocks the shit out of guys. Let's be honest. This dude can punch. He's strong, he's big, he's fast, and before you know it, he could possibly be a junior middleweight, even a middleweight with his frame. No question. But Errol Spence, there's something about Errol Spence that really stands out with me. Obviously, very athletic, very quick, very fast, but it's his body positioning. This guy has a knack for being able to put himself in position where he can land the perfect shot, land those perfect body shots up close, but he puts himself in position where he can land and his opponent cannot. He reminds me a lot of Andre Ward in that regard. Obviously, I think pound for pound he's a harder puncher than Andre Ward, but he has a lot of the similar tactics, a lot of the similar gifts that Andre Ward has in terms of timing, reading his opponent, and being able to open up his opponent. Touch him in spots, get that reaction, get his opponent to dip down, get his opponent to lean in, suck guys into traps, throw out a feeler type jab just as a decoy, get a guy to react to that punch, and then before you know it, he's lulling him to sleep with that feeler out type jab, that snake charmer like type jab, and before you know it, boom, there comes that straight left hand out of nowhere, and you never know what hits you. And then also, he'll throw that jab out there, and he's so quick on his feet, and he'll just jump right in. But he won't jump in. He'll slide in very quickly. But when he goes inside, he doesn't go straight in. He positions himself off to the side where he's able to dig to the body, and he's taking his body out of the line of fire, out of that line, out of that center line where he is not going to be caught with anything, no counter shots. So this is what scares me. I'm not going to say scares me, but if I'm a Kell Brook fan, this would scare me because will Kell Brook be able to time this guy coming in, and will he be able to grab him and wrap him up? Because he's not going to go straight in. He's going to slide off to the side. Unlike Sean Porter goes straight in, and he'll stand right in the center line, and he's putting himself in a position where Kell Brook could have grabbed him and held him. But Errol Spence is not going to stand straight in front of Kell Brook. He's going to be off to the side, and it's going to be hard for Kell Brook to freeze him up on the inside because of the way he positions his body up close. And it's going to be hard for Kell Brook to stop this guy throwing those body shots, which inevitably open up the headshots. So the big problem for any Errol Spence opponent is this guy can hurt you from anywhere. He can line you up outside. He can slide in real quick because his feet are so fast and you won't be able to kind of time that and stop him in his tracks. It's going to be hard to keep him where you want him. It's going to be hard for you to keep him in a position where you can land shots because he takes the offense away from you. Just like Andre Ward takes his opponent's offense away from him, just like Bernard Hopkins was able to do that in his prime and to some degree still be able to do that now. This is a guy that takes his opponent's offense away from them, puts them in positions they don't want to be in, puts them in positions where he can land and they cannot. So that's the big issue. This guy is dangerous outside, he's dangerous inside, and he's never straight in front of his opponent, and he's always landing a punch, and he's never in position to be countered. So this is the dangerous thing. So right now, if I'm going to break down this fight and I'm going to pick a winner, I'm going to slightly lean. This is going to sound crazy. I'm going to slightly lean towards Errol Spence right now because of those little things that I just mentioned. How he positions his body inside, how he's able to really get inside and get behind, get past and behind the jab of his opponent, how he's able to get down low and make himself a compact target and be off to that side, and he's just going to be hard to time, he's going to be hard to nail down, and it's going to be hard for Kell Brook to really measure him with that jab because of the foot speed and the explosiveness and the way he never stays straight in front. He's gonna constantly keep Kell Brook guessing. But that's not to say Kell Brook won't have his moments, won't have his strengths in this fight, because Kell Brook's a big guy, he's a hard puncher. He can land something, possibly, and stop Errol Spence. But the thing is up close, that's where this fight is definitely going to be problematic for Kell Brook, and we know that Errol Spence will take it to Kell Brook on the inside, because he knows that Kell Brook is not really an inside fighter. That's not where he likes to be. And when people do get inside on Kell Brook, he tends to grab them and push them off, or grab them and walk them back, and just basically stifle them and slow up their offense and until he's ready to reset and slide back out on the outside and get that space where he can land that long right hand and that long jab and catch you at the end of his shots. That's where he wants to be, and Errol Spence knows this, so he's not going to allow him, or at least the game plan will be not to allow him to be in that comfort zone. So, Errol Spence is going to be one of the quickest guys, probably the quickest guy that Kell Brook would face, and also the hardest hitter that Kell Brook would face. So this is going to be a very, very, very stern test for Kell Brook as well as Errol Spence, but I just think because of that one aspect of the inside game and the body punching and being off to the side, never being in that center line where he can be tagged, and the foot speed, I just think it's going to be too much for Kell Brook. So I'm going to have to lean towards Errol Spence in this fight at this moment. I'm not saying I may not change my mind, but right now I'm going to slightly lean to Errol Spence. I know a lot of my UK brothers are going to be like, Beeb, you're crazy. But I got to slightly lean to Errol Spence because of the inside game and the size, the strength, and just the body positioning. All right, guys. That's my breakdown. That's how I see it. I'd love to hear how you guys think this fight would go and who you would pick. But it's almost inevitable. I mean, Errol Spence is going to be the man. He's the mandatory. Not going to be. He is the mandatory. So this fight is going to happen. It is going to happen. And I'm excited. So right now, ever so slightly Errol Spence. All right, guys. Peace. Beebs out.